Alright, if you want to see how to open and close your PS4 controller, go ahead and click the link in the upper left hand corner. In this video I'm just going to teach you how to splice in a smartphone battery to increase the battery life on your PS4 controller. Here's the original battery for the PS4 controller, and you can see the overcharge protection right there in the top. The battery itself is pretty small. It's 1000 milliamp hours and 3.65 volts. The replacement batteries, which I'm going to list in the video description below on Amazon, have a ton more battery life. They last a lot longer. This one is 1500 milliamps. It's called the C-X2 battery. Who would have thought that something useful would have come from BlackBerry? You can see that it's almost the same size physically, but it's much bigger internally, so it lasts a lot longer than the original battery does. I'm going to cut off the leads to the old battery now, because I need to use it to attach the new battery to the motherboard. The battery that I'm going to be using, the leads are a little bit farther away than the old one, so I need to extend the wires. I'm going to show you how to do it with electrical tape, but you can take a little dab of solder using a solder gun and attach the wires that way. I just figured most people wouldn't have one of those things laying around. So here's the electrical tape version. Make sure you twist the wires together so they don't come apart. Remember that any smartphone battery can be used as long as it's between 3.6 volts and 3.7. The more important part you got to worry about is just the milliamp hours, and as long as it's over 1000 you'll be making an improvement. Now my leads are a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and find myself a little bit more wire at the end that I can use. I'm going to kind of curl it up into a little ball. That way I can press it into the leads on the battery and not worry about it coming loose when I have the tape over the top of it. Keep in mind that 500,000 things could go wrong when you open these up, so make sure that you aren't too emotionally attached to your controller if you decide to operate on it. Now that I have the little balls in place, I can just press it onto the leads of the battery, and the batteries are going to have a plus or minus sign next to the leads. Most of them do anyway, and the red will go on the positive and the black will go on the negative. I'm just taking the electrical tape and putting it on at a diagonal and pulling it tight so that'll hold the leads in place. Make sure not to use too much electrical tape, even though that there is a little bit of extra room inside the PS4 controller. There's not a whole lot, so you don't want the electrical tape bunching up and propping up your battery at an angle, otherwise it won't fit anymore. Now you can see the plastic bracket at the bottom is a little bit smaller than my battery, so I'm going to go ahead and shave it down just a little bit so my battery will fit in the little slot. The C-X2 battery that I mentioned before fits perfectly in the slot, so I would recommend getting that because it actually gives 50% more battery life, whereas the one I'm using right now just does 30%. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug in to the motherboard using the same leads that were in there before. So adding 50% more battery life to your controller, let's say it lasted 7 hours before, it would put you over 10 hours, which is really nice. Now that I have it plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Let me turn off my lights for you. Get a better view of that blue light. If you want to see how to close your PS4 controller, go ahead and click the link in the upper left hand corner again to get the full walkthrough of that. If you mess up, your controller will always work without a battery in place, as long as it's plugged into the console. Now I'm just playing a little bit of Call of Duty, show you that it works. You can buy brand new smartphone batteries to splice into your controller for seriously pennies a piece on Amazon, so check the video description below for those. Anyway, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if it was interesting to you. Don't forget to subscribe. I put up videos fairly often. Thanks for watching.